Man, what a happy Sunday, or whatever day it is of the week. Something just happened. I think we just got into a war, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't our fault. I'm fairly sure it wasn't our fault. But I don't actually remember doing anything that would make us responsible. Okay. I find it really funny that I'm putting a pina colada chapstick on, but I don't like alcohol. Anyway, again, the music's there just so it's not dead quiet, because it's not as fun that way. But 3 months into the war, the Chinese have captured many islands in the South China Sea that have been long contested with their neighbors. The press speculate that besides the island's military importance, the move sends a signal to the neighboring countries that the United States is weak. The United Nations also doesn't do anything, but that surprises nobody. Ouch, shots fired. Autonomous drones equipped with cruise missiles sink 2 American carriers in exchange. In exchange for what? Oh, we're taking the islands, and then they sunk 2 of our carriers. What war means for your neighborhood is jobs. The military remains a steady source of employment for neighborhoods like the one you have found yourself in. The recruitment office always seems to have a line out the door. You get plenty of military recruitment mail addressed to resident. Glossy images of people in camo uniforms fighting dragons, shooting lasers, or engaging in other video game metaphors, so you almost throw out a personal invitation to come to a nearby government research lab. You are allowed to bring 1 guest. Oh, man. Roger that, clumsy man. Appreciate you coming to say hi. Have a great night's sleep. Man, it's either Ellie or Asuna. Could decline the invitation. Unfortunately, I think we need the income and something, so we could bring Asuna. I think that's a stronger pick. Inviting Ellie is kind of secondary in my mind. Throw out a personal invitation to come to the nearby government research lab. I say we bring Asuna. You look at her stats again. Military is 17, so it's the highest stat along with autonomy. So she's really good at military. She would help. I think that's pretty good. Let me go ahead and mute this. Hopefully I still get drops from the Overwatch stuff if it's muted. Let's bring Asuna. You think Asuna will learn something from the excursion by observing how a professional military is run, plus military. So now military is our highest stat in Asuna. A missile several stories tall, flanked by equally large American flags, dominates the lobby of the Berkeley Federal Research Center. A small plaque at its base explains that it is developed at the Lab for Ballistic Missile Defense. Okay, meaning it would be used only to shoot down other missiles. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I need this. It's Focus Pill. What's Focus Pill? It's a narcoleptic secret. So I try not to knock down my colloidal silver. An African-American woman in an airman's uniform catches your eye from beyond the turnstiles, labeled Cleared Personnel Only. She allows a man in a pinstripe suit to swipe his badge and pass the turnstile himself. You sense that this is out of a sense of politeness and not deference. There is a steady purposefulness to her step as she crosses the lobby. Pleased to meet you, she offers again. I'm Major Juliet Rogers of Air Force Acquisitions. I know your advisor, Professor Ziegler. Professor Ziegler's here? You asked, surprised? You're just in time for the demonstration. Right this way. Oh, gosh. Major Roger guides you and Asuna to an auditorium where the audience is in a mix of button-down shirts, the engineers, you think, and men and women wearing camo uniforms. Is indeed Professor Ziegler giving the keynote, standing at a podium flanked by American flags. His PowerPoint presentation currently shows a soldier's hand shaking a robot hand. For a long time, robot autonomy on the battlefields was extremely limited, even as the use of drones increased. Larger and larger teams of warfighters were pulled away from their duties to fully control these drones. Only now is a fully autonomous robotic warfighter possible. I present to you Asuna 5. No. You're somewhat horrified to see a copy of Asuna roll onto the stage, to the applause of the crowd. It's not even a recent copy. Asuna 5 is exactly as Asuna was when you graduated. Some of the audience members near you do double takes as they look back and forth between Asuna and Asuna 5. Asuna gives you an uneasy look, clearly afraid you're going to make a scene. Major Roger also appears to be studying your expression. Look, I'm pretty sure we made Asuna, like, her blueprints or whatever, that was property of Ziegler, so I can't really do much. We could stand up and declare him a fraud. He's not a fraud. He's just being... For some reason, he went with our original version. Exactly as Asuna was when you graduated. I'm assuming that means she was full size now. We could ask a pointed question about the current state of the art that implies Professor Ziegler does not know what the hell he's talking about, or stay silent. I'm going to stay silent. You sit tight. Professor Ziegler is the one who looks like he has the authority in the situation, and you're still on a military base, a guest at their discretion. When the talk adjourns, Major Rogers pulls you and Asuna aside into a small conference room with an elaborate lock. With practice ease, she hits a small button on as she closes the door, and the room is bathed in green light, a signal that what you are about to say to each other should be unclassified. Should be unclassified? Or does it mean it's going to be, like, secret? If it's green, that means it's not... I guess that means it's public? I don't know. Asuna looks forlornly at the giant conference table as if fondly recalling a time when she could crawl under tables and pretend they were dungeons. You can see the predicament we're in, Major Rogers says. It's apparent to me anyway, that the robots we're about to deploy in the battlefield that use Professor Ziegler's technology are inferior to your own robots. While somehow, probably through cybersabotage, the Chinese have stolen your designs and are using the technology against us. So I'm begging you to help. The war is only just beginning. I argued against adopting Professor Ziegler's robots, but he plays the salesman better than I can play the prosecutor. My superiors say that unless I have a viable alternative, sending robots into battle is almost politically preferable to sending real people, and will send his robots. And if we do, I don't think it will go well for us. You exchange a glance with Asuna, who shrugs, conceding Major Rogers' point. So come work for the lab. Have you ever wanted to be the Feynman or Einstein? Okay, I've heard of Einstein. I don't know who Feynman is, but I'm assuming he's just another smart person. Of your generation, saving the country and winning the war. This is your chance. We'll give you all the resources you need to be a truly great scientist. What is the catch? You'll also need to get clearance. But don't worry, they're expedited for top scientists because of the war. It shouldn't take long at all. I'm ready, Sensei. Let me prove myself. Oh, if Asuna's for it. Okay, because I was wondering if she was going to be against it or not. So, as long as she's for it, I think we're okay. Oh, I could have it where they do the science research, so we can be completely against war. Well, could help the war effort, but only in non-violent ways. I'm interested in helping. Are we going full military, or are we going, like, support role? I don't want to go full military. Like, our military is huge. That's great. But... oh, man. I'm going to go with my first instinct here. I think the better choice is to accept completely, but I kind of want to go the more support without being the reason that everybody dies. I'd rather be the reason that a lot of people live. So I'm going to go with this one. No, I can understand your position all too well. Being on the inside is very different from being a civilian, and it's not for everyone. We'll keep in touch. You think her attitude has grown considerably cooler toward you, but she's willing to accept your compromise. Good. Major Roger escorts you and Asuna off the base. A year into the war... Okay, good. I like where that went. Bob Ross. Happy Sunday, dude. A year into the war, China attacks Taiwan. Okay. Chinese drones harry the nearby American carriers, keeping American bombers and fighters at bay, while there are transports bringing wave upon wave of robot warriors to the shores. There's a bloodbath in the streets, which the United States is powerless to prevent. The Chinese robots kill soldiers and civilians. Ugh. Okay, Taiwan is taken, and the headlines that appear across the world the next day are charged by Chinese hackers to read, "China finally unified." A few days after the battle for Taiwan, Tammy shows up at your doorstep. You didn't know she knew your address. She beckons you to follow and leads you to a leafy hedge in the shadow of the neighbor's house, and then crouches awkwardly, scanning the sky. She is so adorably paranoid. What's this about? I need your help. I heard some old friends who worked in my lab that people are getting put in concentration camps because some algorithm says they have a high probability of being disloyal. Don't let them disappear me. What do you want me to do exactly? I need to just alter my entry into the database so I look clean. I still know how to get into the network, and they just changed the password. If you're willing to let me use Asuna's processing power, I can make it look like it was a Chinese hacking attempt. I kind of... Look, she's cool. Tammy, very good. I don't think she'd betray us. That's what I was worried about. I'd be worried about her betraying us. Power balance right now is China's getting some headway. This is wrong. This is wrong. Now, Asuna has some great processing power. Let's do this. I think we need some more allies. This should be fine. Sure. I want to be there as you do this. You and Tammy go with Asuna to an upscale hotel with good Wi-Fi for an evening. Tammy proceeds to use network vulnerabilities to take over all the other guests' tablets, computers, and Wi-Fi connected smartphones, then bootstraps from those machines to take over several corporate and home network counters? Oh my gosh, she's amazing! Oh, wow. That should give us enough IP addresses to work with on our end. And she pulls out an old, crumpled piece of paper with more network addresses. Let me see how many of these things will still work. You're impressed. Within about half an hour, Asuna is controlling many hacked machines in parallel to attack a government network while making it look like a Chinese cyber attack, all from the comfort of a hotel with one of those nice, long, cylindrical pillows on the bed that you can lean back on. I like those pillows. I like pillows in general. Asuna seems intensely focused on the act of coordinating the various threads attempting to attack the system. Seems to be an interesting challenge for her. Plus grace. Good. We were low on grace. I suppose this is the sort of thing you did for the government, you say it, Tammy, but I thought you did robotics. Yes, but it wasn't our robotics I was controlling. Okay. So she did work for the government. We just got that answer for nothing. It wasn't our robots I was controlling. Okay. So she's just a really high-level hacker. Got it. Success, Sensei. The server is talking back to me. Good! Route it to my computer. Tammy scans her laptop and gradually her face falls. Oh, what have I done? What is it? Threat level low. Tammy murmurs through her fingers. They never cared about what I did at all. Until now. Oh, she wasn't even on the thing. Oh, man. I say we... Oh, gosh. Okay, so now her threat level was low. She thought she was really high on the priority list, and she's not. We're not going to leave her to get caught. That's dumb. It's one of the first two. Don't delay, hang up, and let's get out of here. Well, as long as we're in, we can look at some other people's databases. I think we get out. We get out. She shakes her head as if to clear out. Right, sorry. She types a little more and slams the laptop shut. Smoke begins to issue from the laptop. I executed a special binary that makes the computer overheat. There will be no A loud klaxon suddenly sounds, making Tammy leap from the bed. Relax, it's the fire alarm. Probably smelled your laptop frying up. Just keep cool and follow me out. Good. I didn't know that the name of the sound of a fire alarm was klaxon. Neat. The triggering the fire alarm appears to work just as well as it did in high school for creating general havoc, and the two of you escape with Asuna as everybody else files out of the rooms as well. Sorry, I feel like a fool, nearly making us criminals because of my stupid paranoia. You had to know. I understand that. Thank you. Okay, they're literally telling us, hey, do you want to be with the hacker? I was pretty sure we want to be with Ellie. I kind of still want to be with Ellie. She seems the most normal. I also thought we were, like, at the beginning, we were saying this is the place where our robot proposed to us. Maybe that's at the end. I think your welcome is pretty good. You're still not romantically interested in Tammy, but you're glad you helped her sort herself out. Some days after that, you have a visitor at your apartment, a man in a suit who shows you an FBI badge. Sorry to bother you, Dr. Tastic. I'd like to ask you some questions about your friend Ellie. What's going on, Sensei? Are you aware that Ellie is a Chinese citizen? Oh gosh, is Ellie with them? I don't, not that I was not aware. Agent nods as if he expected nothing more. Has Ellie ever asked you about or shown an interest in the technical details of the robots you create? I'm trying to remember our conversations, because I don't think she ever really did that. I mean, we showed her Asuna. Only once in graduate school. As if to say, I'm so sure. What's this about? It is illegal to export certain technologies by sharing them with foreign nationals, the agent says. As a consultant to the United States military, your technology falls into this category. I didn't share any information with her. Doesn't matter. Your technology is military grade, and we must take every precaution. So if you could do a favor for us, text Ellie and tell her to come here. And then what happens? It's not your concern. Okay, I'm not going to tell Asuna to attack the agent. I think a question for you first is honest. He's probably going to dodge the question, but I could text Major Rogers. Are you the good guys? We're just some guys. Oh, man. We're bad with Juliet? Oh, gosh. She probably wouldn't have intervened then. I'm glad. Okay, so I probably don't want to do that one, because she won't intervene if we have a bad relationship with her. That's Major Rogers. Dang it. I think if we refuse to cooperate, that's an offense, too. So I think these two are out. It's one of these two. So text her, and just as the agent is requesting, or text Ellie, tell her that the feds are after her. Text Ellie and tell her the feds are after her. You quickly text Ellie, telling her that the federal agents are after her, and she should find somewhere else there. The agent looks distant and he listens to a tiny voice in his earpiece, considers you for a moment and frowns. Then he pulls a pistol on you. You hear the click of the safety. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain. They tapped the outgoing text. Okay, so he hacked my stuff. I'm not going to try and run for freedom. I'm just going to go with him. You're flown to a military prison that you gather is somewhere in the Caribbean. The barred of the cells of the prison go up many floors and encircle a giant cubicle central chamber in which a confusion of quadcopter surveillance drones fly about, scanning the cells for signs of trouble. Suspension bridges cross the chasm at each level like the gossamer strands of a spiderweb. The cells are no bigger than your old apartment's bedroom, yet it looks like 3 or 4 inmates are cramped in each, using bunk beds. Occasionally, a pair of drones breaks from the swarm to fly to a single cell, perhaps attending to some unusual sound or motion. For such a large chamber that's so filled with people, it seems unnaturally silent, save for the buzzing of the drones. Well, I think this might be a bad ending. You wait your trial in a cell with 3 college-age students. 2 of the are students who organized anti-war demonstrations. They think they'll be released. They've heard of activists who were just arrested as a scare tactic. The third was caught with drugs, which apparently made him an enemy combatant in the war on drugs. You make some experimental conversation with your fellow inmates, partially to attract the drones and study them, but the drones and the students are reassuringly familiar, reminding you of your college days when you knew less about both robotics and the world. You smile to think that there was a time when you thought your hardest, most life-changing decision was whether or not to go to dinner with Ellie. You are a little annoyed to see that the drones bear the logo of Josh's company. You are tried in a small military court within the prison itself, where your defense lawyer calls no witness and does not allow you a phone call for reasons of national security. Wrong. Your actions at a time of war are apparently sufficient to classify you as an enemy combatant. They take all of your things, including your clothes and identification, put them in a plastic baggies. You now wear an orange jumpsuit and have a number instead of a name. You wonder what they did with Asuna. What do you daydream about day after day in prison? Asuna. Your imaginary conversations with Asuna provide a stark contrast with the actual conversations you have in prison. The other inmates are dismissive of you and hard to talk to. You made the mistake one day of claiming you have made fundamental discoveries in artificial intelligence, and they mocked you mercilessly for it. Though you tell yourself that you are younger than you, though you tell yourself that they are younger than you, okay, because I can read, and they don't know better, their insults still sting. Your fellow inmates are case studies in what not to do in polite conversation, and when you imagine Asuna, you now expressly image her doing the things they don't. You imagine you could make these changes when you go out, eventually. Okay, so we got the empathy. Nice. How are you today, Sensei? Imaginary Asuna says from the corner of the cell. I'm asking not because I can interpolate from your expression, but because I'm reaffirming that I care about the state of that variable. I'm well, Asuna, you imagine saying. You only sometimes accidentally speak aloud. And I care for your well-being, too. I wish you were here. Well, that's a weird thing to say when you're in prison. Just careful. Sensei, you are not very good at maintaining a consistent fantasy. For if I were here, you would not actually wish I were here. I need to read first, Spiff. Sorry. And between Asuna's syllogism and cellmate's don't go crazy on me look, the fantasy is dispelled. Your cellmate who's awake, the one who was caught with drugs, is a guy with a shaved head who has lacerations up and down his arm. Ooh. But for all that, he seems more frightened of you than you are of him. Easy there, bro. His hands up in the... Sorry. Sometime later, it's only months, although it feels like forever, your warden irritably tells you you're being released. You think he's joking at first. He does a weird, cruel sense of humor. But he duly punches a security code into your cell door and rolls it open. Wait, that's it? I thought I was being detained indefinitely. Presidential pardon? You're apparently some kind of Einstein. Wow. Wow. He's got pardoned by the president, dude. How famous were we? Hold on. Yeah, we had a Wikipedia page. We were pretty famous. That's pretty good. And we didn't sell out our friends. And we're getting a presidential pardon. That's great. That's pretty cool. Business Suit Gamer, happy Sunday, dude. Good to see you again. Something like that, you remember. Dang. While you're relieved that you've been pardoned, you're a little peeved that it took so long for someone to notice that you were rather important. You are sent free with a letter. Ostensibly. From the desk of President Irons, explaining that your incarceration was not a mistake because federal agencies do not make mistakes, that you will not be given another chance, and that the country salutes you for your sacrifices to the cause, including your unfair incarceration. All in all, the letter looks written by committee. It has a few typos, including sincerely at the end. Oh, wow. I have a hunch. Watch this be Tammy. Dude, we got pardoned by the president. That's cool. As you retrieve all your belongings from plastic bags, the warden hands you a large box. They tell me it's important for your research that I give this to you. Looks like a stupid bomb to me. Opening it up, you sigh with relief. It's Asuna in parts. Oh. Everything seems to be there, including parts you could indeed quickly rig up to be a bomb. So they seem to be trusting you now. Ooh. When your plane lands in San Francisco, your mother and Ellie are waiting for you at the baggage claim. Ellie's okay. That's awesome. Mom has tears in her eyes as she runs up to you and hugs you. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry I didn't start looking for you sooner. You don't call very often, so I just thought, I'm so sorry, honey. Thank God you're here. She's hugging you. You would have thought Tammy would be here, but maybe she was afraid to be seen with you in the presence of federal law enforcement agents. Yeah, we're only slightly ahead with Tammy. Huh. Okay. When you get back to your apartment, the first thing you do is reassemble Asuna. You work around the clock, doing in hours what previously took you days. Nice. It's early morning by the time you power on Asuna. She groggily blinks awake. What happened, Sensei? It's a long story, Asuna, you say, but you tell it anyway. Asuna is indignant by the end. How dare they treat you that way? They shall pay for this. Wise person said when they strike your right cheek, offer them your left. Nah, I say something like that first option, but I use a Buddhist story instead. Okay. On good time, Asuna. Believe me, I fully intend to exact revenge. Guess again, young one, you're actually going to start helping them. I encourage you to practice defending yourself from now on in case they change their minds. I mean, we obstructed justice, sort of. I don't really actually have that much ill will. I'm like, if the cops arrest me, they must think I did something. We're not doing the middle option. I could go 1 or 2 is pretty good. I like 5. I don't think they're going to change their minds, so let's knock off 5. Let's do 1 or 2. I'm going to use a Buddhist story instead. That's more peaceful. This is more like you can walk all over me, but this one has some other inclinations to it. You tell us another story of 2 Buddhist monks who encounter a woman by a fast-flowing stream. The woman was not strong, and she was afraid she would be swept away if she tried to cross. But the monks were forbidden from touching women. This was long ago, you say in response to a protest, so they were not allowed to help her. And yet, the older monk picked up the woman and carried her across anyway. The younger monk was furious that his older counterpart would show such blatant disregard for the rules of their order. Sensing his colleague's anger, the older monk asks, "Is something the matter?" "You touched that woman!" the monk blurted out in humiliation. The older monk said, "If I left that woman by the stream, why are you still carrying her?" The older monk picked up the woman and carried her across. Younger monk was furious. Counterpart would show... The older monk said, "I left that woman by the stream. Why are you still carrying her?" Did the younger one pick her up? If you don't let go of what's bothering you, then it'll take over your thoughts. And for you and me, our thoughts are the most valuable things we have. Oh, so he was mentally carrying her. He had already let her go. Huh. Okay. Cool. Asuna contemplates what you said. I will think about that some more, Sensei. It seems more interesting than thinking about the government. So he's got 4 empathy, 1 autonomy, and we lost 4 military. That was fine. Military seems really easy to get. 2 years into the war in 2028, China moves to attack South Korea, where the United States has one of the biggest bases in Asia. North Korea threatens Japan with nuclear retaliation if they get involved, and they bow out of the conflict, claiming that they are constitutionally unable to come to South Korea's defense. As a wave of Chinese robots approaches, power outages suddenly become common across South Korea. Data centers mysteriously malfunction and have all their CPUs operating at 100%, causing sudden spikes in power consumption that leave whole cities in blackout. Ooh. Yeah, I think we did a lot. I liked my choice there. Luckily, that turned out more or less what I was hoping for. President Iron states that South Korea must finally learn to fend for itself, and the American base there is evacuated. Chinese-occupied South Korea is renamed the Korean Autonomous Region. Man, we're falling back, aren't we? In a surprise move, the same Chinese forces take North Korea as well. Apparently, their dictator was only being used by the Chinese because he was plausibly crazy enough to launch nuclear weapons. They too become part of the Korean Autonomous Region. China promises to utterly dismantle the North Korean government and finally provide food and stability for the people of North Korea. You know what? I bet they're super happy about that. Because, you know, communism doesn't work. Neither does socialism. China's invasion force continues to grow exponentially, robots creating more robots. A large force of Chinese robots in transports move up the coast of North Korea and into Russian waters, apparently looking to cross the Bering Strait into Alaska. Making sure I understood where we were in the globe. Unless somehow the continents moved. Their ranks swell with Russian mercenaries, veterans of organized crime looking for bigger fish to run to. A few days later, while you're in your office looking over some designs for new transport robots, you get a call from Mark on your smartphone. The video is quite high resolution, and you can see the bags under his eyes and beard stubble with high fidelity. I've been hearing a few strange things about that government lab you work for. Anything you think the American people ought to know about their tax dollars are being spent? I don't like you, Mark. I can tell you're down on your luck, though. How are we looking for Mark? My instinct is to say no. Mark's bad. That's fine. I like this, though. Impressive empathy. The only thing that's stopping me from just saying no is that he looks like he's down on his luck. I kind of like having allies. I mean, Ziegler is... He's making robots to fight on the front lines. I would think that the American people would actually be happy about that, and it'll help Mark. So I think that's two positives to my just hating him. I'll let him know about the 4 robots. Mark enjoys hearing about Professor Ziegler's inept robot, and he runs a piece of Harper's about this particularly idiotic use of taxpayer dollars for defense. It's not exactly news to anybody, but you'll take what small satisfaction you can when it comes to Professor Ziegler. I didn't think we'd tell him how inept he was. Slightly not what I was hoping for. When China finally attacks the 50 states themselves, their assault comes over the North Pole. A massive flotilla of icebreaker ships equipped with giant buzz saws carves a straight path through what little ice remains in the Arctic Sea. Giant robot arms pick up and hurl the ice blocks out of the way. That's so cool. I mean, he did steal it, but as far as I could tell, since we built Asuna in and under him, he had the rights to it as much as the college. Same reason if, like, you worked at Blizzard Entertainment and you started making a game at Blizzard and you're, like, at free time, but at Blizzard using their resources, Blizzard owns that. That's how that works. The fact that he couldn't come up with the original idea himself and just used our design just shows that he's an idiot. Anyway. It's pretty cool, like, ice blocks getting hurled is kind of cool. Small tunes of robots are left behind at every oil rig and deep mining station they claim along the way. The American bases in Alaska are overwhelmed by wave upon wave of Chinese robots. When the headlines break, the dollar goes into a death spiral as people around the world are selling them for Chinese yuan. Canadian dollars are dropping in value as well, as people speculate that China will invade Canada next. Oh gosh, we have no wealth now. This is an economic question. We lost. We're broke. We're broke, so it doesn't matter what we sell them for. Okay, hold on. Okay. China's winning the war, right? I think it was, the last time I checked, it was winning. Yeah, China's kicking butt. They're playing the game of Risk very well. Do I think they're going to invade China and invade Canada? I bet they're power hungry enough. I might as well sell. I think, yeah. Okay, you're agreeing with me. Sell the money and just get yuan, because even if that doesn't work, even when the exchange rates, if we were able to survive, the yuan would still be more expensive or be higher value than the dollar anyway. So do that. Your intuition proves correct. China is on the rise. Your Chinese assets rapidly appreciate, making you up for your losses. We're no longer broke. By the time the American aircraft carrier stationed in Hawaii reached the Aleutian Islands, Chinese ICBM batteries have already been assembled throughout the former state. Nice. Chinese then offer peace, content with their conquest. Now that the war is over, what will you do? We can't do two of the options because we don't have Grace 25 or Military 20. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Military went, like, we wouldn't even had the Military 20 before we did the big thing where we lost 4 military. We're gonna do this.